Well, hello everyone. Tyler Ford here, Tucson, Arizona, eXp Realty, and welcome to this month's weekly live home inventory update. Where each and every month I log into the MLS and I go over home inventory numbers. And I feel that home inventory is the leading indicator as to what's going on in any market. It's supply and demand economics 101. And for the last couple of years, we've had far more demand than we have had supply, which has caused double-digit appreciation year over year over the last couple of years. But I do feel this market is slowly starting to shift. And I've been tracking the home inventory levels for about a year now, just because I sensed that the market was going to start to shift. And again, I feel it's the leading indicator. I know there's a lot of fear in the market right now, and a lot of people out there saying that this market's going to have a huge pullback. And I would maybe disagree. I think this market's going to start to slow down. It's going to be more of a neutral market, but will home prices fall out of the sky? And I'm going to show you why I don't think so. I think we might have a small pullback, but again, there's going to be more inventory to choose from and more of a neutral market that's going to put buyers in a better position to negotiate price, to negotiate seller concessions, and also negotiate repairs. So with that, I'm going to dive on into it, and we're going to log into the MLS and then show the numbers. And then I go over to an Excel spreadsheet, plug those numbers in to give you a good visual of what's going on. But before I do that, what I'd like to do is to share something with you that is this chart right here is home inventory levels on a national level. It's the US home inventory levels. And if you look at this chart, back in 2007, back in 2008, when we had the last major pullback in the housing market and entered into a depression, we had a ton of inventory. There was close to 4 million active listings in the MLSs all over the country. And if you look at where we're at right now, there's about 1.1 million listings. And again, this is all about supply and demand. Prices, in my opinion, will not go down unless we get a flood of inventory, a flood of supply. And we still have quite a bit of room in terms of inventory going up for home values to fall significantly. And I think, from a national level, we need to be back between 2.5 million active listings. And again, we're just above 1 million active listings across the US. So again, although home inventory levels are starting to tick up, people aren't chasing the top end of this market. and what I call the California sucker fishes that, they were selling homes for double the amount of properties in other places across the country, and then coming to places like Tucson and not batting an eye at price. But I think those days are long gone in terms of people chasing the high end of this market. So we're going to start to see some stability and more inventory. And again, just putting buyers in a better position, and sellers are going to have a more realistic expectation on, time, even chasing the top end of this market and getting the top end. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into the MLS. And so I'm logged into the MLS, and we're going to go through single family homes, manufactured, townhomes, and condos. And then I'm going to jump over to an Excel spreadsheet. So I'm in the MLS right now. And for all of Tucson, for single family homes, right now, there are 1,185 single family homes listed in the MLS. For townhomes, there are a total of 97 townhomes listed in the MLS, and that number is right up there. You can see it right there. For manufactured homes in the MLS, there are currently 68 manufactured homes, and for condos, there are a total of 99 active condos listed in the MLS. Now I'm going to pull up an Excel spreadsheet. We're going to plug in the numbers, and then this is going to give you a good visual as to what's going on here in the Tucson housing market. I pulled it up just a little bit ago and plugged the numbers in. Let me just make sure they're the same. So single family homes, 1,185. Manufactured homes, it's changed from about an hour ago. We've got 68. Condos, there are 99, and then townhomes, 97. So in the MLS, the Tucson MLS, there are a total of 1,352 active listings. And again, home inventory levels are starting to go up, but they're still well below where they would need to be to bring us back to a neutral market. In my opinion, we need probably double the inventory as to what we currently have in the MLS to be in a normal, neutral market where there's equilibrium of both buyers and sellers. So from last month to this month, home inventory levels have increased by 336 units between single family homes, manufactured homes, condos, and townhomes. And the change from month to month, 24%. And when I first started doing this a year ago, home inventory levels have gone up 40.9%. So we've almost seen a double in home inventory over the last year, and we're well off the bottom. So in my opinion, this is a good thing. It's a healthy thing for the market. And again, just based on what I showed you at the beginning in terms of the overall picture, we still have a lot of room to go in terms of inventory, in terms of being at a place where it's going to drastically have a major impact on home values. If we jump over to this chart right here, this is the visual of me tracking this to where typically what happens in Tucson is our buying market is typically October through April, May. And then as summer hits, temperatures go up, winter visitors leave. We just don't have the demand that we have during the fall, winter, and spring. So again, we're a couple months away from winter visitors coming back and U of A starting up and that demand coming back. So typically, in Tucson, we've got a depletion of inventory, fall, winter, spring, an increase in inventory, and then that's kind of how the cycle works. And if you look back at the national chart too, these dips right here are the summer months. So typically, the increase in inventory is typically the summer months, and the decrease of inventory is typically in the fall, winter, and spring. So that's what that looks like. And then the other thing that I want to show you is I'm going to jump over to Zillow because in the MLS I just have Tucson, and if you type in Tucson for Zillow, it gets Tucson and the surrounding areas. So a little bit bigger picture of what's going on. And I've got Tucson, where'd it go? So Tucson listed right here. So Tucson and the surrounding areas, there's 1,738 active listings. And then the other is for sale by owner. That's 270. So jump back over to the Excel spreadsheet and we're going to plug in the numbers for Zillow. I did it a little bit earlier. Let's see if it's changed. This actually went down by 1 unit. And then others, the for sale by owners have actually gone down. In my opinion, the reason for that, when markets start to change and it gets a little bit more difficult for sellers to sell, which we're entering into just because we're starting to get a shift in this market, there's less for sale by owners. They rely more on the MLS and getting their property out there. So the total in Zillow is 2,008 active listings. That's an increase of 278 from last month. And we have, let's see here. So it was a change of 13.84%. The other thing that I want to show you is we're going to jump over to the median home price. So the Tucson housing market report just came out, and the median home price for June was 385,000, which is down 1,000 from the previous month. And so over the last couple years, we've seen double-digit appreciation. And so what I think is going to happen from now moving forward is, in a normal, healthy market, homes typically appreciate anywhere from 4 to 8%, maybe 10% on a good year. And so far this year, we're at 9%. And what I see happening is prices stabilizing and us kind of going sideways from here. Maybe a slight decline in prices, but again, just based on supply and demand, economics 101, and the amount of inventory there is listed in the MLS, I do not see a huge decline in price. And I know a lot of people are saying this market's going to melt down and we're in a recession. But again, there's far more demand still and a home shortage than there is. I'm not seeing it. I do think we're going to see a slowdown, but in terms of a major pullback that a lot of people are saying, I don't have a crystal ball, can't predict the market. But again, if you look at the numbers in any type of market, gas right now, supply and demand issue. They turned off the supply here in the US. Gas prices are going through the roof. At the beginning of COVID, there was no lumber being produced, and boards per square foot went through the roof as well. It's since pulled back. So everything in terms of what drives price is supply and demand. And I'm just not seeing that in terms of a huge spike in inventory to create a major decline in home values. And this is the chart of the median home price that I've been tracking. And again, I think from here we're going to go slightly sideways. So that is that. And the other thing that you can do is each and every month, the TAR, the Tucson Association of Realtors, puts out the Tucson Housing Market Report. And it's a really good report, really detailed. And so if you really want to dive into the numbers, you can go to Tucson Homes and Lots. And if you scroll down, there's a button right here that says Tucson Monthly Market Update. And then it's going to take you over to the market update that I do. I do a detailed dive into what's going on. And then if you scroll to the very bottom of that and click on this link right here, it's the PDF. It's the full report that TAR puts out, and it's worth going over. There's a lot of really good information. So I'd encourage you, if you're one to really want to look at numbers, I would encourage you to do that. The other thing that I want to show you is interest rates. Home affordability right now is more expensive than it's ever been. Prices have gone up. home values have gone up double digit, but interest rates, even though relatively they're still super low, going up over probably 2.5% from the lows, it has a huge impact on price. So home affordability right now, and again, the feds are trying to put the brakes and cool this market off. And although rates have gone up doubled in the last almost year, they're still low relative to what they've been in the past. So rates right now on a 30-year fixed, you're looking at 5.51%, on a 15-year 4.62%. So that is it. Like to keep it short and sweet. And each and every month we dive in, but I keep a close look on inventory levels. And again, I think it's the leading indicator. And if we start to see, a huge spike, that's going to transfer over to price reductions in the MLS, the market softening, and home values pulling back. But as of right now, inventory levels are still low relative to where they need to be. And if there's any questions or comments out there, let me see here if there are any. Love to have any questions or comments. But if you have any questions, we're here to help. Feel free to reach out to us. And again, going to keep it short and sweet. And that's it for the Tucson Monthly Housing Market Report. In the meantime, make it a great day.